216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Alan Cox.
A drummer, or even a real musician, he just makes a noise. If he played the violin or the piano, anything that made sense, but the drums.
100.7 WMMS.
Run.
Looks like Guardians tied it up.
And then they just gave up another run. So now,
Oh, yeah?
4-3 right now.
All right.
Yeah.
4-3.
Yep.
We will get you into the second. It is a doubleheader today, so 6:40 should be your first pitch for game number 2. 4-3 Royals right now.
Yep.
Top of the 8th over Boulder. And you still got some time remaining in this month to use the promo code LAKE. Boy, literally, like the rest of this week. September 1st is already Sunday.
Right.
So you have the remainder of this week to use the promo code LAKE, L-A-K-E.
Quite possibly the fastest month of my entire life.
August.
Yeah, it just went so fast.
I mean, every summer feels like it flies by. But August, yes. Yeah. I can't, I have no concept of time anyway, so I never know if that's something that everybody experiences or, because when you're a kid, summer's awesome because you got nothing to do. And then school, when you're a kid, school is your job. But you get summers off. But even teachers, people talk about, oh, teachers get summers off. Do they, though? Like, I feel like teachers are always cobbling something together. They might get a bit more time off than other people doing different jobs do, but I never really bought into the whole teachers are just kicking back by the pool all summer long. I don't know. But, yeah, September 1 is Sunday. And with it comes a new promo code for CLE Clothing Company, which I don't have yet. But you can still use Lake, and you can get 20% off whatever you want to get at CLE Clothing Company if you find yourself in one of their stores. Use it when you check out or just get online and use it. You get 20%. Okay, so when we were kind of talking about, we were recapping bits and pieces of Captain Fun's Floating Fandango, and Bill alluded to the fact that he was getting asked a single question over and over and over again. And that question was, when is Mary's sister going to dump him out?
On the boat?
Now, the question that he got asked second most frequently was what, Bill?
When is your next show?
When is your next show?
Got that a lot. Everybody come, take a picture, big fan. So you're here, haven't seen you yet. Was at this, all different variations of that. And then the question was, when's your next show?
Wait. They would say, walk me through this.
They'd either say like, oh, I saw you at the Alan Cox Show Comedy Tour one time, or I saw you last year at the taping.
These were people who have seen you perform live before.
But then there was some that were like, I haven't seen you perform live before, and I would love to come out and do that.
Gotcha.
So, but it was always, when's your next show?
Mm-hmm.
So I tell them, Willoughby. But the best way to find out is just to go to BillSquire.com, and it being, I'm not a musician, but it being the age of AI, I made a little jingle. Well, not even jingles, but different songs to help get that into your head so to go to BillSquire.com. And I would like your guys' input to see which one we like the best.
These are songs to reinforce the fact. Now, will these be posted anywhere?
Well, whichever one we decide is the best, I'm going to make a promo video for my next show.
Mary, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Now, you've given me 4 Where Is Your Next Show songs in 4 different genres.
Yeah.
You've given me metal and country and pop punk and pop, which if you're keeping score at home, that's pop punk, but without the punk.
Mm-hmm.
Now, metal, you can never understand. AI metal is my least favorite form of metal. We will never play AI metal on 2 Hours to Midnight, my metal show on Saturday nights. Yeah, but you can't understand it. That's the problem. I mean, the hook with these is going to have to be the lyrics, right?
Right.
That's where the meat is. That's where you're telling people. So I'll play the metal one first and get it out of the way.
All right.
All right. The songs, do they all have the same title? Are they all called When's Your Next Show?
I believe they are.
Okay. Can't escape jokes. I like that. You don't want him to escape your jokes. BillSquire.com. Oh, boy. All right, Mary, your thoughts, just off the top of your head. The metal
all right.
version. Okay.
The hook is good.
The hook is,
BillSquire.com.
but nothing else.
Nothing
is.
else
I
is
have no
good.
idea what else they said.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Alan was alluding to. Like, the hook is good. The hook goes real hard, but everything else is just kind of jumbly.
This is why AI country is so fun, because it is such an easy lunk-headed template
Yeah.
to just put random words into, and people go, God damn, this is a good song.
Yeah, the country one's more like southern rock kind of country, but I think it gets the job done. You want to do the country
The
one?
country song is also called When's Your Next Show.
Mhm.
Are you ready, Mary?
Been ready.
Now,
Born
what do
ready.
you what just off the top of your head, and again, all sales are final here, but what would you have given the first one, 1 to 5, as
Zero.
a potential commercial for?
Zero.
Zero.
It gets no information across.
Gotcha. See, she already likes it.
They ask me every day, man, don't you got a plan? When you gonna make us laugh? Where's your next stand? I tell them to relax now, hold your horses, man. Get online and check it out, it's all in the plan. BillSquire.com for the funny finds you.
Oh, God.
BillSquire.com, that's where you find the truth.
Yeah, multiple verses too.
Yeah. You got the gist of it, though. We don't need to know
Yeah,
all
all
the
right.
words.
So
Yeah.
there's the country version, Mary,
I like
BillSquire.com.
that.
That one
Right?
gets
That's
all the
fun.
information right across. It's nice and clear.
Yeah.
I like that one.
It's articulated properly.
Yep. Where's your next stand?
Yeah.
Instead of stand up.
Pop punk is going to be your third of 4 here.
All right.
This is also called When's the Next Show.
Laughs that go all around, jokes flying high down, every corner of the town. Hey Bill, when you coming back down? Messages day and night, need my dose of comedy right. Can't wait for another sight. Hey Bill, what's the next delight? BillSquire.com, find the show, don't wait too long.
Hey, Bill, when's the next delight? That's my favorite part. Hey, when's the next delight? You should rename one of your comedy nights the Bill Squire Weekly Delight.
That's actually not a bad idea.
So that's your pop punk. Now, Mary, you guys are, Mary, you're considerably younger than I am. And much more versed in that pop punk thing.
Yes.
Is there a band in particular when you first heard the opening strains of that song, you go, wow, this sounds like? See, to my ear, so many of those bands sound similar to me that I wouldn't be able to necessarily suss them out. But was there one of those where you're like, boy, this sounds like?
I got kind of a Yellow Card vibe off of it.
Yeah.
Like an Ocean Avenue type situation.
Yeah, I got Yellow Card.
Okay.
That's a very good comparison.
Now, so far, your country one is the favorite?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And finally, there's the pop version of this, which is probably just going to be straight ahead CHR type stuff. Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't listen to enough pop music to even know who they're trying to emulate here. But yeah, go ahead and play it.
All right.
They ask me every day, when's your next big play? I tell them right away, got the place for all the say.
I got the place for all the say.
Store on the street,
Nailed
And edit
it.
the lyrics.
Nailed it.
take a seat.
Yeah.
On my schedule, take a peek. From the mouths, I hear the beat. BillSquire.com, that's where you belong.
Maybe a Billie Eilish, Sabrina Carpenter type situation going on here.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many pop stars now that sing like they have their jaw wired shut. That's like their style. And when you try to replicate that in AI, it just sounds very strange and
Right.
fuzzy. And so, okay, that's the pop version there.
I feel like these
All
AI
four
songs
of
are
these-
getting worse.
Oh, I agree.
Well,
All
it's
of
because they're
these,
starting to draw from other AI songs.
yeah,
That's
terrible.
Yeah.
they're cannibalizing each other
Yeah.
and they're spitting out
Well, and I tried.
terrible versions of
I
things.
tried to do it where I put in specific bands for them to emulate, and they wouldn't let me do that anymore. Like they used to.
Yeah, because these websites are getting sued.
Yeah, because they're getting sued. So like I tried to do like I was gonna do this bit to try and play Two Mary. So I wanted one to sound like Zach Brown Band, one to sound like Fall Out Boy,
Yeah.
and they're like, sorry, we can't do that.
Is that what they did?
That's exactly what they did.
Like Mary's
they can,
voice.
They can do Mary's voice because that's not copyrighted.
Yeah, I'm curious how these, it's such a gray area when they try to sue these AI companies because they go, look, man, we don't have any control over the end result. But obviously it's using every bit of information that's already out there, compiled and then spat back to you. But I'm curious how much longer. I mean, there are no more litigious organizations than record companies, right? Because they've been so decimated by technology that every possible move somebody makes, you have half a dozen artists and their management and their record companies suing Trump right now because he just keeps using people's music. And they're like, we want nothing even remotely to do with you or your events. So like Foo Fighters filed lawsuit. The estate of Isaac Hayes. Remember Isaac Hayes?
Yeah.
He was chef on South Park to one generation, but to, Gen Xers, he was Shaft and, all that kind of stuff. So there are all these artists.
He sang the Shaft theme song, right?
The Shaft theme song, that's right. He didn't play Shaft.
He didn't play Shaft.
Richard Roundtree.
Who I believe is
played
still
Shaft.
alive, right?
I think he is. And then, of course, Samuel L. Jackson.
Because they did Woke Shaft like a few years ago.
They did.
Where
yes.
they're like, hey.
They did a sequel,
good.
and they just called it Shaft. They had 2 movies called Shaft, which I liked a lot because you're going to confuse people. The Samuel L. Jackson version, of course, was notable because he made it. He said what everybody had been thinking about the earlier Shaft films. Samuel L. Jackson let everybody know that it was his duty to please that booty. Remember that? It's my duty to please
I've
that
never
booty.
actually seen any Shaft movies.
Really?
I
Not
haven't
even the
either.
original ones?
No.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. It's going to blow your mind, but those movies were not played often in
Squire household.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, want to watch Shaft again? It's pretty good.
You know me. It's my duty to please that booty.
Yeah! It's so simple.
That's pretty sexual.
And only
Very
Samuel L.
sexual.
Jackson could pull it off. Because if anybody else, if I walked up to somebody and I said, you know me, it's my duty to please that booty. Okay, that's a bad example because it sounds awesome when I say it. If somebody else were to say it, set me and Samuel L. Jackson aside as 2 people kind of on the same wavelength.
Mary, say it, but do an impersonation of Alan or me saying it.
No, that's my duty, please that booty.
Yes.
You don't know anything about me, but I'll tell you one thing. It's my duty, please booty.
Yeah. Well, she got it. Oh, God, what a boner killer that was, too. Do you imagine if they had they got like a blooper reel with Samuel L. Jackson and Mary just comes in behind. She makes fun of him like she makes fun of us. Yeah. By the way, I got a lot of messages from people. And again, this was just a throwaway joke because I found a clip, okay? I said last week, after Perez Bilton had filed his most recent dispatch, I said I was surprised that nobody was talking about Richard Karn, who had been on Home Improvement for many years. And I said he had been scooped up in some human trafficking thing. That was simply a setup for me to play a dumb clip because he's doing, he still plays off that Al Borland character. So he ends up in a lot of commercials for home improvement items and things like that. And there was a clip of him, or I was watching a commercial. He was talking about some copper hose. And he goes, I'm Richard Karn, and I love my hose. And it was long on setup and short on delivery. I will grant you that. But I've gotten so many messages from people, hey, I can't find that Richard Karn story. I made it up just to set up that 2-second clip because I thought it was funny. So I don't want anybody wasting their time or resources trying to dig up Richard Karn getting caught in
I
a
thought
human.
once you played the clip, it made it pretty clear that it was just a goofy bit. but-
Listen, sometimes we're just white noise for people, right? I understand. But I want you to spend your time, all the people have hit me up, I want you to spend the remainder of your time not looking for that story because I made it all up just to play that dumb clip. Richard Roundtree died in the spring, Alan.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Okay.
Or maybe I didn't, just didn't remember.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that. But
Hey, Alan, if that's even your real name. I'm still watching my murder stories, and there was an episode with a guy named Mark Maurer, Mark in the Dark, out of Phoenix, Arizona. So, how come I've never heard of him? I own a radio, paid for it myself, didn't use layaway, no credit card, straight cash. I own it. Anyway, he didn't do it.
okay. Well, there you go.
Man, speaking of murder shows, but just like crime shows in general. So yesterday, I slept over at my girlfriend's house, and we went. We were in bed and we're watching Pirates of the Caribbean to fall asleep. Just put that on, but
That's something you would fall asleep to.
That's what I mean. We just turned it on. We felt
Yeah.
like watching it, and
Right.
I fell asleep. She didn't fall asleep. Usually, I'm the one that stays up, and she passes out early. Little switcheroo last night. I fall asleep, then I wake up, and she's watching a crime show. As women love their true crime
Boy,
shows.
that's the default, isn't it?
They love it.
Yeah.
They love
Not
it.
me. That's a Brian thing.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
not me.
Well, there's always one person in the relationship that seems to like them.
Loves true crime.
And this one was extra upsetting because it wasn't just, oh, he murdered his wife or anything like that. I'm half asleep, and then she goes, and then I saw the images on his phone, and I was like, oh, no. And
Wait, this is the woman in the story?
yeah.
Said, yeah.
She's like, I saw the images on his phone, and it was, child sexual abuse photos and all that
Ugh.
stuff. And I just like, I'm trying. I can't fall asleep now. You can't just hear that and be like, well, I got to go back to sleep.
Yeah,
I'm just like wide awake.
You don't fade off into slumberland while they're
Yeah.
doing 90 minutes on Dateline
Mm-hmm.
of pedophilia.
And we made an accord. I'm saying that because
Oh,
we
you
watched,
did?
yeah,
Oh.
because I watched a lot of Pirates this weekend. And so from now on, if I fall asleep first, she can watch any true crime show she wants, unless it has to do with children.
Yeah, but did she know that going in? A lot of
No,
times, I was
no,
going to
she
say, a
didn't
lot
know
of
that.
times they
Yeah.
do a hard pivot, and then you're in pedophilia land, and
Yeah.
you didn't realize that going in.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
You just thought the guy was killing his wife.
Well, the wife was in the thing, and
Oh.
he wasn't. So I didn't know if it was going to be.
It's like a documentary.
Yeah, it's a documentary. Like it's a podcast that got turned into a TV show type thing.
I see.
And it's like you didn't know if he killed himself or what, but it felt weird. And then they give you the big moment where it's like, and kids, and you're like,
Oh, no.
this isn't fun like the murder ones.
Right. Honey, switch it to something that'll put me to sleep. Like
murder.
Like Hostel,
Mhm.
Part 2. I can slide right into slumberland.
Okay, Richard Roundtree died last year in October.
Okay. Well, but he is dead.
He is dead.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't the one who was on duty to please Booty anyway.
Right.
So I think that he was deprived of that charge, whereas Samuel L. Jackson came in and probably wrote that line himself.
No, you think?
He wanted those melon farming snakes off that Monday to Friday plane in one movie, and he wanted to be out there pleasing Booty in another movie. And by the way, who among us does not want to? Straight men and gay women alike.
Or gay men and gay men.
Well, or whatever. I mean, he's a guy, he was talking to a woman, so I was thinking about a woman's booty.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, take your pick. But not everybody rises to the level of considering it their duty. But I think that was him telling her, rather than just a throw-off line, that's him telling her, hey, I take that very seriously. Some guys will slide right past it. But I think of it as my duty, my solemn, sworn obligation to please that booty. And that can take many forms. But the bottom line is you got to get right in there. You got to get in there. And you got to do your thing. See, now everybody's texting me, you son of a bitch, I believed you about Richard Karn. I will never forgive you. You're a dirty bastard, all this stuff. Again, 99% of this show is dumb, throwaway crap that we think is funny. And I wasn't trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. Trust me, it got nothing in the room, so that's okay. I just didn't realize it was going to turn into a scandal. Quel dommage, Bill. A controversy, if you will. All right. But everybody finally got to sleep after the kid killing and all that?
Yeah. I mean, I had to see how it was all resolved.
Obviously.
Yeah.
You want to know.
He did some time. But again, they go a little light on child porn. Like, they don't, you got to call it the child abuse material. Sexual child abuse material.
Yeah.
Like, these guys.
What do you mean they go light?
They get slapped on the wrist. They do, like, not a lot of time. Like, I don't know why he's out now. Like, he's on probation, but I feel like that's one of those things where jail for life.
Especially since a lot of those guys, they think it's some big deal that they have to register as a sex offender. A lot of them get scooped back up because they never did that. So I don't even know who's in charge of that.
He was creating his own, too, because he had a stepdaughter, and he was filming her secretly and stuff. It was real gross. Yeah, it was, I was having fun with some cursed pirates, fall asleep, and then wake up to that.
There was a story, I think the dude's getting like 25 years, but there was a story about some young guy, a Parma cop, who I think had only been on the job for like 2 years, and this guy had tons of child porn on his computer and his phone. A cop in Parma.
Not a lot of that with cops.
And, oof, young dude. But he got some time. I've got to take a break here. Hey, want to go to the Guardians? Tampa Bay Rays are going to be in town, and I'll have a 4-pack of tickets for you. That's going to be mid-September. Saturday the 14th at Progressive Field is when I will set you up. We'll do that coming back. 35192. Text me for anything else.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app. Rover's Morning Glory.
The bed bug guy went to Jeffrey's house. Bugs all over the place. You can see pictures here. Live bugs, bug excrement all over the mat.